Well, this episode could not be much more important. It is one of the biggest in our 15 years in charge at Southend. There is 1 point separating the top four in the Premier League, and it is first v second at the start of today's episode. We are top, Arsenal 1 point behind us. That is going to be blockbuster in itself. But then 8 days later, our following game is the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool. A side that have embarrassed us already this season, embarrassed us in the Champions League last season, and for the first time we've got a chance to win the Carabao Cup, and I do not want to be embarrassed for the third time straight. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 126 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today to face Arsenal and Liverpool in two huge matches across two competitions. We've got a mixed record against Arsenal, we've got a poor record against Liverpool, and we're actually playing them back to back because we've got them in the FA Cup after, then City in the Premier League. It's turning into one hell of a little run of fixtures. The Champions League not far away either, as the top four of the Premier League are all within a point. This is turning into an incredible year. As you can see from the top with the team news, we are without the likes of Teddy Ivanov and Armin Memic today, but Arsenal have injuries too. We've got big games coming up, and we've managed to get through the Norwich game without any drama. So if you're looking forward to this one, then please do chuck a thumbs up on it. I mean, if you can't get excited for this episode, there's no point, is there? Because these are the biggest games, and we want to win at one of the two annual trophies that eludes us so far. Let's have a look at the schedule though, because we've got to see what happened in that Norwich match. It was a 3-0 win, and remarkably, it was a hat-trick for Ashley Carr. I made a bit of a gamble, which you can see with the team selection here. Bar Sadler, I put out an entirely reserved team based on match load. The only one that wasn't was Will's, and that's because Ivanov was injured, Casey Worcester was injured, and I didn't want to risk Fur, who had a very heavy match load. So Wills played 90 minutes and then took a bit of a training rest. The rest of them I just played. Roy Curley came on early on the left because Vasquez got a knock. Again, back from a long injury, we're wrapping him in cotton wool. And I didn't use any of the other subs because they were all players who I intend to start in this one. So with Arsenal at home and in an 8-day break, we have got the chance to play our first team in both. But will Ashley Carr put the cat amongst the pigeons with that performance in midweek? Ended his goal drought in style. I think his last goal prior to that was back, before Christmas against Everton. He has had a poor couple of months, that kid. But let's see how he gets on today. The dynamics are pretty good in the circumstances, considering three players are unhappy. The Premier League is looking tense, and all the other trophies are going to be close. We've got the Champions League returning after City. So actually, these four games will be followed by a Champions League last 16 match, and it could then be an FA Cup quarter-final as well. This promises to be blockbuster, but what are we going to get today? Let's get through to the fixtures. The top two go head-to-head. Everyone else has played already today. Newcastle with a comfortable win. Brighton, to be fair, in action tomorrow by the looks of it. They're at home to Chelsea, who are 16th. Luckily not a threat of relegation because the bottom three are awful. But that is a pretty big fall from grace, isn't it? Let's see what we can do in R1 though, because that's what we're really worried about here. We need to rotate for our first 11. How many of the originals are left? Just Saliba and Waneri there. But there are quality players. Luke Robertson has scored so many goals against us, I can't even keep count anymore. And this year, he's got 33 from 34. Not a bad little record, is it? Let's go and get through to the team selection. You can see what played in midweek. What it does mean is most of the match loads are a bit lighter outside of it. And even if they're not, they've got over a week off after. Let's go and get our first 11 in. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, perhaps a couple of slight surprises today as we opt for a few changes to what we normally do. Kivrakidis comes in for Bernberg. Two unhappy midfielders that are ranked very similarly. I've opted for Kivrakidis. Torres would have been in for a start, but he's played 4 matches in the last 2 weeks, which is just a little bit too much. Marciano will come in for him, who's pretty much as good anyway. I thought about moving Rakowski out to right back, but Hansen played in midweek. Aguiman is back from AFCON. He's doing okay. We'll try and get him through one more. And Joe Will's training rest did work. He's okay. And he's going to play alongside Nana Fur, who hopefully will deliver the goods in this one. That means our 11 in full is Jude Sadler in goal. Aguiman and Carlos the fullbacks, with Herbert and Rakowski a centre-half. Adamson and Robertson out wide, with Kivrakidis and Marciano in the middle. And then it's Fur and Joe Wills up front, who I'm hoping will find the goals today. It is just occurring to me here, thinking about it. Imagine if Brighton, of all the teams, are the ones to pip us to the title, as Bukayo Saka drops out of the team. Darnell Furlong's doing a really good job here. We've seen him already this season in action against us. If Brighton were to come and join the big boys with a title, it could be a real change in the guard, with City and United dropping away, Chelsea in the bottom half, Tottenham nowhere despite having the best striker in the world. It could leave a few questions to be answered. Brighton doing really well, could be Champions League for them. But what about for us? An early start against Arsenal, a quiet game so far. Can we find a way to get ahead? Because again, we don't want to be chasing and wait until late on. As Kivrakidis picks the ball up in the middle for Akoski. He's got time and space to run into, and he's got the ball again in the midfield. Marciano releases Fair, the new signing, into Joe Wills. And that shot taken first time just wide. You can see Fair, he's getting into those positions, creating chances as well. That's something that Kranjic did when he was at his best. With 20 gone, though, despite the positive start, there's no sign of a goal yet. Only one shot on target and still 0-0, which Arsenal will take. Well, we're approaching half-time. I was about to talk about the expected goals creeping towards 1 for both, but I'm now going to comment on my unhappiness at injuries, because as Memic is going to return next week, he's going to have to start because Aguiman is out. Rakoski's on a yellow, but will have to move to right back. And then the choices in the middle are Vite and Hansen. Hansen's got the heavier match load, but he's also got the experience and the quality. So I'm going to bring him on as half-time approaches. It is 0-0. There's not a great deal between us at the minute. We've seen a lot in these games. It's about the late show. Who's the best in the last half an hour? Yes, we got one just before the break against Norwich. But again, second half is where we normally come good. Is it going to be the same case here? That's what we're hoping for. Ivrakid is struggling a bit. Wills is not going to do 90, I don't think. We've not really got anyone natural in that role, which is a worry. Rakoski would be an option to come off, but there's no one there. And Vasquez will have to come on for Adamson, who's playing poorly. We'll look at that in a minute, as Fair's got a chance to break away here. Carrying it from the edge of his own box. He's not going to keep going, is he? Finds Joe Wills. Plays the 1-2. Fair's got runners. Marciano goes. So does Robertson on the right. Beats the fullback, York Robertson. And forces a really good save from the goalkeeper, Ledes. Great goalkeeping to tip it over as well. Could have easily palmed that back into danger. Adamson will be on corner duty. Can we make it count? No, we can't. That's a woeful delivery. With an hour gone, I'm going to look at changes. I think it's going to be Kivrakidis and Adamson. We've just got a bit of momentum at the minute. Running up ahead of steam, so I want to be careful as Marciano gets it from the throw. Oh, what a time to become a hero. Luis Marciano scored on debut. 2 quiet months or a month and a half. And now he's popped up with his second, possibly a title-winning goal against Arsenal. That is something spectacular. What a run from midfield. And now Herbert can play out to Jan Carlos. Will that force Arsenal out? Will it open up space or will it put us under pressure? It will if Joe Wills gives it away like that. Not good at all from the target man. The ball's worked forward to Waneri and now Gallagher. Don't do it to me from the kickoff. Oh, Joe Wills, what have you done? What have you done? There was no need for you to be playing around with it back there. And only VAR can save us now, which is not a good position to be in. Goals awarded. The subs will be made. I am furious. Give Rakidis off for Bernberg. We're going to take Adamson off for Vasquez. And Ashley Carr, hat-trick hero from the week. You got Nana Fur alongside you this time. 25 minutes to go. And instantly after scoring, we managed to concede. As Fair's got a free kick on the left. Bukayo Saka, the experienced man on for Arsenal. And Soren Hansen. Oh, the flag's up. And that means that it's going to be disallowed. If the flag goes immediately, there's no chance. I thought I'd nailed the sub at centre-half there. Goal review, goal disallowed. Stays 1-1. My excitement, very short-lived. Having said that, we have got another free kick in a dangerous position. And Fair is pulling rank here to centre-forward. Delivers the ball to the back post. Hansen's up again. So as far as Marciano, back into Rakoski. How have you put that over? Fair play if the keeper saves it, but he doesn't. You've just hit it high and ugly. And that is not good enough, I'm afraid. 15 minutes to go. Southend being held, but we're on the front foot. And you can see second half, again, we've been a stronger team. Marciano looking a superstar. But this time it's Saka breaking away. Justin sort of resorted to 15-minute cameos now in his older years, but still doing a job for them off the bench as Vasquez goes back to Carlos. Be lovely to get Vasquez back to full fitness and flying down that left wing. Because Adamson, he's just running out of steam at this stage of the season, but we've lost it. And now Robertson works forward. Bernberg does well. It only falls for Saka, who's actually playing in the middle here. Armour gets it for the Gallagher, who's in. Oh, that's so unjust. We've battered them all half, and then we've thrown it away like that. Oh, it's so unfair. I'm going to take Carlos off for De Angelis because he's nervous, and that's not what we want at the minute. We're 10 to go. We're going to go attacking. We're going to chase the game. How have we managed to clutch defeat from the jaws of victory? 18 shots, and we've managed to not hit the target with most of them. Arsenal go top of the table. We have been the better side, the more dominant side throughout. And we've not made it count. Injuries, disallowed goals, individual mistakes, they all combine. And it finishes Southend 1, Arsenal 2. An unfair result, I would argue. But now we've got to bounce back. There are 8 days to the Carabao Cup final, our first ever one. And despite winning bigger trophies in our career so far, it's the one based on recent seasons that I really want to get over the line. Let's go and see if we can do it, as Liverpool, a side that often embarrass us, will be our next opponents. Well, after defeat last week, the historic day has arrived and we've got the message of it here. A first Carabao Cup final in the club's 132-year history. This is a moment that Southend United will not forget and hopefully shows why I've been wanting it so much. We've also had good news off the pitch because Peter Bernberg has ended his unhappiness, as has, I'm not sure if we can go back far enough, yes we can, Jan Carlos about his playing time because he's now back in the team. And we've also had good news from the Premier League because yesterday Arsenal had another tough game in Manchester City, our next league opponents, and they drew with them, which means if we win our game in hand, yes, we can go back to the top on goal difference. So for now, we're all focused on the Carabao Cup. A huge game, but the dynamics improving. Only one player still unhappy at the minute. So let's go and see what 11 we can put out at Wembley. As Junior Krupi, star of our Twitch save with Aberdeen, is still involved for them. Ben Doak, Emery, we know the team by now. Marconi on the left is definitely going to score at some point. And let's be fair, we've had very difficult days against Liverpool. I'm expecting another one this time around. Let's have a look at the team selection because it should be fairly similar to last week. But the one bit of bad news we got from that was that Aguiman's injury, 4 weeks. He's now out for another 3. Armin Memic is back. It says he's not fully fit, but hey, if you can't get yourself fit for a cup final, when else are you going to be? Bernberg will return for Kivrakidis to make sure we've got a fully happy starting 11. And then looking at the rest of the squad, what can I do? I'm thinking about bringing Torres back onto the bench for Jimenez. And the rest of it's as strong as it can be. We would like to have a right back on the bench instead of 2 centre-halves. But look, this is our strongest squad. Let's go for it. The only changes from last week see Memic replace the injured Aguiman after returning from injury himself. No idea what to do if he can't get through the game other than put Rakowski out there and change my centre-halves. And then in midfield, Peter Bernberg is back and he's happy. And he is replacing Kivrakidis. This is the team for today. I'm sticking with... Oh, it's my final decision. Do I go McNaughton? I'm really thinking about it. I think he's played every Carabao Cup tie up to this point. He has. And Sadler is just declining a little. But no, Sadler's the better keeper. We're going first team. Let's hope we can do it. Through to the first ever Carabao Cup final for Southend United. Yes, we've won the Europa League. We've won the FA Cup. We've won the Premier League multiple times. But we've never won a Carabao Cup. Hell, we've never even been in a final. Let's go and change that today. It's history, whatever, but I'd love to win it. Just to end the worries of this being a trophyless season. We know we've got a tough FA Cup draw against Liverpool again in 3 days. We know the Champions League's difficult and we're in a real battle in the league. If we could get this one under our belts now, it would just relieve a whole heap of pressure. Well, 4 changes for Liverpool, who have dropped out Jamie Ferguson, which is nice because he always scored headers against us. Jimmy Brook is down to the bench as well. Any other originals there? No, just Ben Doak still going at the minute. Emery is an original player, but not of this football club. I'm going to go through to it. There's players there we've tried to sign before, but we want to tell the lads, prove a point, get yourselves inspired. Nana Fair, if you ever wanted to prove that you're a superstar and are the man to replace Dion Kranjic, now would be a lovely time to do it. You know famously that my cup finals are generally terrible affairs. They're normally low scoring. They're normally pretty boring to watch. I'll take that if we can nick one here. But you also know when we've played Liverpool in recent seasons, we've often conceded goals galore. So I don't know which one to expect today. As Memic gets it to Robertson, look how high they're pressing us, not letting us out of our own third. Memic really struggling with fitness, but we're going to try and nurse him through as Robertson still in his own third, picking the ball up again. Bernberg back to Memic, but maybe this isn't the worst thing. Keeping a bit of possession, keeping a bit of control, moving Liverpool around, but it's got to go somewhere other than losing possession. Rakowski brings it out to Joe Wills. This is where he got caught against Arsenal, but plays it wide to Adamson, who just surges into space. What a change of tempo that was. But then the wrong decision. Marciano was making a really lovely run, and he just went for this wild outside of the foot shot, which unfortunately didn't really cause any damage at all. Zaire Emery goes back to Koreski, and he finds his goalkeeper Haag. Out to Zagadix on the left-hand side, and into Buckley. Liverpool now, it's their turn to try and control the game, look for space. That back three does seem to cause us problems at times. The way it sort of inverts. The fullback goes into midfield, and then they just have that three. That modern way. As Adamson nicks it, it's a short back pass, not like this. Jude Sadler makes a great save. Adamson again caught out. Just not playing well at the moment. I thought he'd got it back in that last episode, but it's not happening. Marconi's corner is headed up more than away. Robertson eventually clears. A worrying start at times. With 20 gone, it's still goalless, and we'll take that based on previous encounters against this opposition. As Adamson, now booked, is on corner duty. Up to Lewis Herbert. The skipper's at it again. 10 for the season for Lewis Herbert. He is a goal-scoring maestro from centre-half. He's a huge set-piece threat. He's a brilliant footballer. And he's one hell of a captain. He wants to lift that Carabao Cup trophy tonight. And he's going to have a right good go at it. He's given us the lead. But then, does it have to be difficult every time? Just give us a nice day. Nana Fair is injured. Ashley Carr is on. He is the last available striker because Ivanov is still injured. We can't afford any more there. Ashley Carr did get a hat-trick against Norwich. That is not the change I wanted to be making at this point. As Jude Sadler is on goal kick duty, we're being pressed 4-on-4 at the back, so I hope he goes long. It's a terrible kick. Krupi flicks it into Cavalcante. That is absolutely abysmal. Genuinely, one of the worst goals you will see conceded in a cup final. It's Sunday League stuff. Sadler's pass out was atrocious. We were then beaten by two simple passes through the middle. And Junior Krupi, I mean, how we've got him in the SPL on Twitch, I don't know. But he is taking a mick out of us there. As Doak gets it on the right. And this is what's happened this season. We concede one and then we fall apart. Krupi heads one just wide there. Sadler hopefully will learn how to take a goal kick. And at half-time, Liverpool back in the ascendancy on top. But still 1-1. We're in the tie. And that's the best I can say at the moment. Let's go and tell the lads to prove a point. Get out there and show a worthy display because you drifted from it late in the half there. We've lost our best striker on paper, having lost our best striker on paper in January as well. His replacement's now injured. Ashley Carr, yes, he got a hat-trick against Norwich, but that's the only game he scored in for 2 months. Joe Wills is looking a little bit beyond his normal self. And Adamson on the left, Robertson on the right. They're creating nothing. I might need some heroes off the bench here. Can we nick the ball back for a starter? Doak gives it away to Carlos. Now Adamson to Peter Bernberg. Over the top for Wills. This is your moment. You're in. Joe Wills. No mistake at all. Only 11 goals this season, but that is the biggest of the lot. Joe Wills puts Southend back ahead. We hit on the counter despite a pretty poor performance to that point. And despite having half the expected goals of Liverpool, we've got double the amount on the actual score sheet. And I'll happily take that trade every day of the week. As Bernberg chipped forward towards Wills again. He's ended his unhappiness, Bernberg, and he's now set up what might be a winner in the cup final. I said a goal might be a winner against Arsenal, and we then conceded 2, so let's be careful. As Krupi gets the ball to Aslan, we're in trouble here. They've got a man over on the right. There's no one back there. And here comes Ben Doak. Options in the middle. Gets to the byline. 6 players in our penalty area. Marciano misses it. Meza. God, their centre-halves just put one in the top corner. Even us, who have boring cup finals every single time, Liverpool have found a way to score multiple goals past us. To be fair, he's not the worst finisher in the world, Meza. But we just can't do it. We cannot keep a good defensive effort against Liverpool. It's going to be De Angelis on at left back, Yocolano and Vasquez on the wings. I'm going to save the 5th sub for now. If we go to extra time, it'll have to be Memic, I'm afraid. I really don't want to mess with that back 4. 15 to go. We're going to throw some encouragement in a minute because we're doing pretty well in the circumstances. Marciano struggling, so it's going to be him. He'll be replaced by Ivo Torres. Then the biggest improver off the pitch this season Has he got one moment of magic in him? Or is it going to go the other way? Koreski into Krupi. Back to Reski again. He's got the chance to cross from the right. It's up to the back post. Marconi's there. And that only misses by a whisker. Sadler was scrambling to his left-hand side. He didn't need to worry in the end. But this is becoming torturous to watch. Liverpool finishing strong. They want it done in 90 minutes. We're scrapping to hang on for extra time. As Ferguson's on at centre-half. Aslan goes back to his goalkeeper. And you can see it's all Liverpool. They've got nearly everyone in our half. And they're just trying to push forward. 3 or 4 against our defence. And here they come again. Koreski out wide to Margins and the sub. Inside to Krupi. Still the star of the show. Junior Krupi to the byline. Well challenged by Vasquez. Gives it to De Angelis. We've not got it out yet. Sadler. Oh, God. I'm not confident watching that. No, no, no. The final sub we bought on. And he's done that. That is the second back pass of the day that's severely underhit. You can't do that to me. There's 7 minutes added. Oh, not like that. Surely that's not the goal that settles the cup final. I mean, we deserve to lose it, but the point is we were going to extra time. Torres may well be training himself into one of the best players at the club, but that's abysmal. I can't bear to watch it. He's improved so much. How have you made that mistake? What a way to lose the Carabao Cup final. We were heading to extra time where I would have fancied us. That's heartbreaking. I don't mind losing, but that way, in that manner, it's gut-wrenching. I cannot believe that's happened. I cannot believe that is the goal that settled the final. Ben Doak gets the easiest goal of his career, and it's at Wembley to win a cup final. All eyes on the Premier League again, is it? Because we play Liverpool again in 3 days. The Premier League run-in, to be fair, is not bad after City. And the Champions League, maybe that's the one we can go at. But our first Carabao Cup final ends in defeat. I mean, how Ivo Torres hasn't had a match rating that's dismal there, I don't know. Nothing's gone against him. It's 2 narrow defeats in the most frustrating of fashions. We were ahead in both games at just gone the hour mark. And we've somehow managed to clutch defeat in both. Going to take me a while to pick myself up from that one. We're going to have to do it pretty quickly though, because after the next few games, I'm not as worried about the FA Cup. We're going to rotate fully for that. We will be back for the second leg of the last 16 Champions League tie and a massive title deciding game against Brighton, which I did not expect to be saying. Brighton are on 56 points, having got what result last week? They were 1-1 draw against Villa and a 2-0 defeat against Chelsea. So maybe they're just fading away now. I say that, they're still level on points with us. If they beat us in that one, they could be ahead again. So we'll be back for those games, but what a heartbreaking finish today. We lose the Carabao Cup final to an underhit back pass at the end of 90 minutes. And now it's all attention on the 3 remaining trophies. Can we win one this year? Or will we have to settle for just a Community Shield? If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Hopefully Southend's real life season won't start in the vein our Carabao Cup run finished. You can find our predictions for the National League from the Football Podcast up in the eye above, as well as for all 3 EFL divisions. Come and get involved. Give us yours in the comments too. You can also find a link for the Twitch channel for regular live streams, and also to the Coach's Head Save, where we had a big European fixture yesterday afternoon. I hope you enjoyed all of that. We'll be back here in a couple of days' time to get you back to European action. Can we make history in the Champions League? Because we've fallen just short in the Carabao Cup. And if our season ends without a trophy because of that back pass, I don't think I'm going to sleep at night in the summer. I'll see you next time to find out we can edge closer to at least one trophy.